And now let's look at some new sites of Government Hill in Anchorage, Alaska. The hill would look a lot more elaborate if it had terraces along it. Such terraces would make it easier to get around the hill from one part to another. The hill is too small for random heights of terraces, and so it would be straight leveled ones all the way from the northern point of the port of Anchorage to the post road gate onto Elmendorf Air Force Base. Here are some overviews of those terraces and how each level would remain the same all over. This first picture shows the possibility of a connection bridge of the coastal trail from 2nd Avenue all the way to Government Hill. It's true that the port access causeway has a pedestrian walkway on its west edge, but it doesn't make the proper connection to Government Hill because of having to cross those ramps on and off the bridge. It frequently interferes with the traffic on those ramps and causes a lot of congestion on them. That's one thing we absolutely do not need. This kind of bridge would be handy for the walkway on the port access causeway to turn to so that it could be high enough above the busy intersection of North C Street and Ocean Dock Road. If it was high enough from there, that would practically make enough clearance for all of the trucks to go under it without having to fear for pedestrians above it. The port access walkway would refer to that bridge where Ocean Dock Road is, and there'd also be a connection bridge following over Whitney Road at one set of the railroad highway where the boat ramp is. It would have a stairway down to the boat ramp and another one down to Whitney Road also. This would also make the policy of keeping pedestrians out of the railroad junction nearby the intersection of North C Street and keeping pedestrians out of the railroad junction nearby the intersection of North C Street and Ocean Dock Road like we need to. This bridge is also meant for the safety of our pedestrians and friends and relatives related to keeping them out of that part of the railroad yard. This second picture shows how Bluff Drive along the edge of the port would look like from overhead right here. You can see how it's going to be built right over that part of Bluff Drive. That part of Bluff Drive is too dangerous for pedestrians and bicyclists and vehicles to be on it because it goes right through the center of the fuel tank farm of the port. It's also very steep and it's easy to end up stuck or falling down with no way to catch you. The port has been closed to the public since the end of the year 2000 because of there being too many injuries and fatalities there. The insurance of the port can't cover a person who's not employed there, and that's why it was closed to the public from visiting there. It helps to lower liability and the safety of the port. Not even trucks are allowed on that part of Bluff Drive either because one of those stuck on there would take too long to clean up and isn't safe for the rescue people to handle. This is why the guard booth onto the port was placed just slightly north of the building area for some other ports to carry those buildings to. This third picture shows what that top part of Government Hill nearby Bluff Drive would look like after the terraces were to get built over it. The picture might not look all that good right now, but just think about how much better it'll be than only some old signs that just closes Bluff Drive. The whole thing wouldn't hold up Government Hill, and we could see the port from up there. Anderson Park might get an addition to it where the old covered tank farm used to be too. Who needs such empty land there anyway? With these terraces along Government Hill, it would add to the coastal trail going north of the port all the way up Connect Arm to its very end in Palmer. Part of it might very well go through Elmendorf Air Force Base and Fort Richardson Army Base, but that won't affect the trail or either one of those bases. This fourth picture shows what the intersection of North C Street and Ocean Dock Road would look like with its terraces. The Coastal Trail Connection Bridge would look like this, connecting with the Government Hill Central Trail that would go along the edge of the hill all the way to the Post Road Gate onto Elmendorf Air Force Base. It wouldn't be too hard to go around Government Hill even though moose and other large animals wouldn't approve of it. We wouldn't have to deal with steep hills anymore and could walk up and down some stairs instead. This fifth picture shows how the land of North C Street and Ocean Dock Road would look like. It would be a surprise to see such terraces from afar as you were approaching Government Hill. You would think about how neat Government Hill would look as you drive by on Harvard Avenue, Hollywood Drive, and Delaney Street, and Loop Road. This sixth picture shows what Loop Road would look like from overhead. While the minor trails would cancel out on the sidewalk of Loop Road, the Government Hillside Trail would go under Loop Road and continue east all the way up to the Post Road Gate at Elmendorf Air Force Base. Just think about how interesting it'll be to see the railroad yard from that part of Government Hill where there's no road going along it. This seventh picture shows what Loop Road looked like on the ground. It's not all that good looking right now, but when the real thing comes up, you won't have to deal with steep hills going between Harvard Avenue and Loop Road anymore. Harvard Park will get spared just so that there'll be plenty of sledding to do in the wintertime. This eighth picture shows the overhead version of Government Hill's east side just east of Loop Road, where no road can go through there. Who cares whether or not a road can go through there? That's more than made up for with these terraces that go along it. You would get to see more of the railroad yard from this view as well as from the top of the hill. Just think about what that would be like. This new causeway that would go to the east side of Government Hill to avoid out congestion on the Port Access Causeway. Its other purpose would make Hollywood Drive work like a boulevard that would connect over to Government Hill central area where Loop Road and Harvard Avenue would be at. It would be a big part connect to the road that would go down past the port's backside all the way to its northern point and then across the Connect Arm to Point McKenzie. It's not going to be where Tidewater Road and Ocean Dock Road are, but it'll just go through the part of the port that's next to the Cherry Hill neighborhood instead. The coastal trail will follow it too. This ninth picture shows Reeve Boulevard going over the railroad highway. With the way you see it going over and interchanging with Post Road here, it would make its way to Bluff Drive. That's another access to Government Hill too. It'll also make its way for another gate onto Elmendorf Air Force Base at Fairchild Avenue. It's really needed even though Loop Road is the main gate onto the Air Force Base. It would save a trip to get there, whether it's Post Road or Loop Road. Just think about what that will look like.